All right. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Teresa, for this snack for breakfast. But we don't do straws, so.
One comment, he doesn't do straws. Jeez, I'm sorry.
I don't want my viewers to see me with the straw. That's not how it works, guys. Straight pipes and no straws.
Oh, forgive him.
All right, so Ricky, what we got going on
We
now?
got a lot of stuff going on. So, getting back to our emissions situation that we're going through the Senate. So just this morning, this morning, it looks like two senators from Alaska, Senator Sullivan and Senator Ricketts, they added another bill to the CRA. Now, this bill adds to about 40 other ones that are on there. Now, this is another...
40?
Yeah.
40?
40. Now, these are all emissions bills that are getting put to Senate to go through CRA to get to President Trump's desk so he can sign off on emissions. Now, what this is doing, it's ensuring, it's kind of giving us a safe keep as far as feeling comfortable that these emission laws are going to pass. And that they're going to go through CRA, they're going to get to President Trump's desk, and he's going to sign off on it.
So they're attacking it from all areas.
All over. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're leaving no stone unturned. And this CARS Act, that's the name of the new one. It's the CARS Act. So these bills have been put in before, but have never gone far. So now they're just being resubmitted. So what these bills are trying to do, they're trying to revoke all the waivers. And what these waivers do on emissions, like sometimes when you run a car through smog and it doesn't pass, they'll give you a waiver time to fix the car. They'll either call you gross polluter, and they'll have to send you go to the referee. You got to do all kinds of works. And then, the CARB was actually giving out money to pay for repairs, X amount of dollars depending on the value of the vehicle. They would give you money, and you could only go to a STAR certificated smog shop, get it fixed. But anyway.
And then they give you money to junk it too.
Correct. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So they're getting rid of those.
Cash for clunkers, they used to.
So how does that benefit us? Is that even? I mean, that's a pretty good thing. Like, I want my government to give me money, or is it not fair?
Take my car. I think it's the part of this bill that's going to help us more than anything else is that it's going to allow dealer manufacturers to build cars that are performing better, that are going to be longer lasting, that don't have so much of the emission stuff in them that's going to take away from their performance. I mean, there's one of our guys, people that we follow. He's talking about 4-cylinder cars with turbos in them, so you can get performance out of them. If not, they don't really go anywhere. And we got diesels. The diesel delete finally, I think, went through, if I remember correctly. So the diesels, they can't be penalized. Mm-hmm. That went through. So
well, I did a diesel and EGR delete on my truck, and what a huge difference!
I bet.
It just breathes, and it gets up and goes.
Yeah, I bet.
And,
it's huge. So there have been a couple of them that have already been passed. The waste emissions is passed, and the tire waste passed. Now those have already been through CRA, and cannot be revoked anymore. They can never come back.
So what was those two again?
It was the waste emissions, and then tire waste. Those all passed through EPA.
So tire,
like the disposal fees and all that.
Okay, well, they could keep on charging disposal fees, but maybe the laws on how it gets disposed and who gets involved and stuff like that, because who's going to take the tires? Yeah. And that can go away too, because people are now buying tires. Now that they're recycling them, they're cutting them up and making playgrounds and stuff like that. So it's not like it's a necessary disposal fee that we have, an environmental thing, because now we have buyers, people that are actually taking them and reusing them into all kinds of different industries. So it's that fee should, I agree, it should be gone. Another one is
the Waste Emissions Act, and I'm not too sure on that one. We'll have to look into that more. I just found this out a little bit ago.
I think I read on that. That might be more towards the semi trucks, but like you said, they're tackling it from all kinds of different angles. So we'll see different bills are specific for one thing, and it might seem like it's for everybody, but it's specific for one truck, one industry, one this, you know,
Correct.
so they're tackling it all over the place.
And then there's rumors that the people that work for CARB, they're starting to see that their jobs are on the line.
Okay.
They're saying that those jobs are going to be insolvent. Like the CARB facility of the federal government, it's going to be, it's kind of deteriorating.
Let me jump in here because I got something good for that. So CARB stands for the California Air Resource Board. Okay, so this is California. It's not federal. It's not all the states. This is our administration for smog, you know, or bullies, you know. But I got some things here to share with you guys. You're gonna be trip out. Okay, the people who work there. This is their salary. So an acquisition manager gets how much a month? Don't look.
Oh, my bad. I was cheating.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
So acquisition manager. What does that mean? Acquisition. I mean, they're the hiring manager.
I would say maybe clients. I don't know.
Or acquisition tickets. Finding everybody. This dude gets $10,245 per month.
Holy smokes.
10,000. So that's over $100,000 easy.
Sheesh.
Right.
That's
Okay. The building manager for, I guess they have a building somewhere. He gets 12,180.
Damn.
That's just the building manager. That's not a shop manager. That's not, you know, I don't know what that means. Like, he just makes sure everybody's in order.
Make sure
you
the
know?
facilities are going.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
The deputy chief executive officer gets $14,959 per month.
Damn.
The division chief gets $13,541 a month. A senior supervisor gets $12,989. So those are just like just the tip, just the top few. You know what I mean? Who else has their hands in it? You know?
Yeah, really. At $10,000 a month, I'll be an acquisition manager.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
Hire
I don't
everybody.
know what the hell that is.
But what I'm getting at is that's just a few. You know? Can you imagine all the people on the floor? You know, that are going to locations and shops and finding and this and that. So there's tons of money out there that our taxes, our car registrations is funding.
Right.
Because this is where our car registration fees goes to. Did you hear that? My stomach.
I heard that.
Oh wow, that was my stomach. I'm hungry. Our registration fees, you know, are going to these people,
Right.
that they're managing buildings. They're you know, doing stuff that's, how do I say this, that the federal government's already doing, because we already have federal law for smogs.
Right.
Now all the 50 states, they have, was it 49 states? Now I'm getting confused with all the Trump numbers and everything. You know, 49 states,
52?
I heard it was 52, and that's wrong too.
Oh.
But anyhow, the federal government already has their smog laws and ways.
Mm-hmm.
California just asked for a waiver. You were talking about that earlier, that waiver, because they want to do it their own way.
Right.
They got their waiver, and that's why we've been stuck with different smogs. You know what I mean? So because they got their waiver, they have their own entity, which is CARB, California.
Air Resource Board.
And because of that, then we have to pay for the administration side of that. You know, that's where your registration fees. I got the registration fees here. Registration fees. The base fee for California is $60 to cover DMV operations. Think about that. If you're gonna have federal standards now, and you're not gonna have the transfer, hey, I got to transfer from Arizona to California, and we got to go to special CHP and then have special forms. That $60 should drop. I don't know how much is fair, but that $60 should drop. And trust me, nobody's paying $60. That's just a piece of it. That covers the DMV operations. Your registration fees covers the transportation improvement fee.
Wow.
So this is based on vehicle value. That's why some of us pay over $1,200 because you got a brand new car. California Highway Patrol. There's $27 that goes to support the CHP. I don't know. I thought that was the roads. That was a different
Caltrans maybe.
Caltrans. I don't know, but $27 goes to support it, so it's not 100% that they cover it. They're supporting it. County fees. So depend what county you live in.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna have those fees. Other programs that they have is that supports is the air quality program, which is the CARB that we're talking about.
Right.
So if that's gone, you know,
Open up a lot of money.
all those thousands of dollars in salaries that we just talked about, it's going to open up money, and it should lower our registration fees. It should.
Just those top positions that you said, that's damn near $650,000 a year.
Mm-hmm. And so, and plus all the people on the ground and the people throwing out the trash and cleaning up for, you know, cleaning up these offices.
The sanitation engineers.
Which is the government's tia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And she's getting paid, you know, $10,000 a month to clean the offices for 1 hour a week, you know, whatever. So another one our registration fees covers is freeway emergency call boxes. Whoa. Who needs those?
I don't think
now?
I've ever used one in my life.
Yeah, but who need nowadays with cell phones? Like, why?
I mean, unless you're in a dead zone, but.
Mm-hmm. Abandoned vehicle removal. Okay, so like the tow truck company, you call them, they're gonna take it because they know they're gonna resell it. They're gonna sell it to the junkyard. They're gonna put a lien on there. Why do we have to pay an abandoned vehicle removal fee? And that's part of the fees they charge us, you know, to register our car. It doesn't make sense. This is not 1970s and 80s where everything's getting abandoned.
Right.
You know, local fingerprint identification programs. Yeah, like, dude, I thought we paid for that when we go. When we were younger, when you had a certain job and you had to go get fingerprinted, you would go and you would pay yourself and well, maybe it's the back office type thing, them receiving it.
Maybe, but then that's through LifeScan. Like you're supposed to. LifeScan is the one that does all that. Like you go to the local county sheriff's department, and they run a LifeScan.
So your registration fees are paying something towards the CARB Act or the CARB. So I mean, it should naturally drop, but you know they might even reallocate it. That program's gone, so we're gonna give it to Newsom's little nephew for some reason.
Graduation present.
Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. So the CARB Act, you know, if they reverse it to 1970s, we had talked about this last time too. How many trucks does it take to do from something from 1980s?
It was like 14. We said something.
70. Google it again.
Anyways, I'm updating.
It's so many trucks. I thought it was like 60 in the 70s.
67. It was 67.
67 trucks, semi trucks, from 2024 to give the same pollution as one truck from 1980.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
it's crazy.
I mean, if we reverse, this is for like the people that are worried about smog. If we revert to 1970s laws, our trucks are still cleaner. You know, we're not asking, hey, let's get all these semi trucks back on the road and take off and put carburetors back on. Nobody wants carburetors; they want efficiency. You know, and there's going to be federal catalytic converters on there, but they want efficiency versus, you know, hey, we want to put no cats and carbs back on there and racer semi. No, they don't want that. They want, you know, to save on gas.
Right.
You know.
And then they're saying that in order for these things to go, they don't need they just need a simple majority. So just call and say, you know what, I support this bill, I support my senator. And it's taken into account. But money has been changed too. Apparently that the government was giving in waiver grants, they were giving up to $2.6 billion. And that's gotten reduced down to $35 million. That's a substantial drop, folks.
So explain that again. I lost you.
So the government was giving California grants for their smogs. They were giving out up to $2.6 billion.
Oh, that's where you were saying, hey, you don't pass smog. Here's money to help you pass smog. Or your car's too old, it's not going to pass. You know, we're going to give you money. Okay.
$2.6 billion is what they were giving. They're down to $35 million.
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge drop. Huge drop.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they're seeing where things are going, and like I said, it's it's just patience right now, guys. They're playing the right game. I mean, everything's being put into play, and like I said, they got the clip loaded. You know, they got
they got the snipers out.
Yes. They called in the goon squad. They're ready to do this. You know, and like I said, they're consistently making sure they have a backup for the backup for the backup, and that's what we all need. That's in order to have an affordable California.
So
I guess
first they send in the Army.
Yes.
And next is the Marines. Now it's the special units. So they got everybody.
SEALs. Everybody.
Navy SEALs are going to come in last.
And at the end, they're going to call the homies from the neighborhoods, all the neighborhoods, all. See what they
but
can do.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So.
But things are happening fast. Looks like everything's going.
Well, this administration is not playing games.
No.
You know, they're going to accomplish what they want to accomplish. And that's why they're tackling it from all different areas, because they want it over with, done with, in one federal standard, and we move on to the next subject.
Right.
You know what's really cool about this stuff too is I talked about guns before too, and I'm following a few other people in their podcasts, and the same thing's happening over there. You know, that they're writing all kinds of different bills and stuff that's going on, and they're using CARB the same way. And they're tackling the issues that California has with their laws, because they want to be different from all the other states, and say that the law means this, and so the administration right now is tackling that hardcore. They're sending all kinds of bills out there and trying to tackle the same thing, that no, dude, you can have this type of gun, and this is not an assault rifle. It's the same standard everywhere, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool that, hey, let's have one standard for everybody, so everybody's on the same page.
Right.
Plain and simple. If I go to Texas, if I go to New York, if I go to Chicago, and I own a gun, that I'm gonna have to abide by the same law in every single state. Versus you show up to California, you have to abide by a different type of law, different type of car, different type of gun. You can't bring that gun over here.
The same with registering your car. You should be able to go from here to another state and just pay your registration fee. Not have to worry about fixing this and not doing that and just pay your registration, whatever it costs to register the car in that state. And if you come back because you missed your state, then come back. Same fees. Nothing changes.
There's some crazy stories on the comments in our videos, and recently somebody, what were they saying? There's all kinds of comments on there, but this one was like more. I paid X amount of dollars. Oh no, I bought this car from the dealership.
Oh.
Okay, in Arizona, and Arizona had put one of their catalytic converters, which is legal over there. They bought it off the lot. It was obviously a used car, but when they transferred it and brought it to California, it passed smog, like the tailpipe. It passed smog, but it didn't pass inspection because there was a different cat on it.
The stamp is different.
So that means that the tailpipe had no emissions coming out of it. It passed. It's a clean emissions. But just because they didn't have California stamp,
didn't have the CARB stamp on it.
They were forcing them. They told him he had to pay $3,000 for a California,
that's crazy.
Cat, and switch it over. And he was in the comments. He was just like, "What do I do?"
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Nuts.
So, yeah, there's all kinds of stuff.
And you can see the price difference from a California catalytic converter to a federal one. It's substantial.
Yeah, you can see price difference on everything.
Yeah.
A year ago or 2 years ago, I went to Arlington, Texas. We went to breakfast, and I was like, "What? $9 for 2 eggs, chorizo, papas, and a homemade tortilla?"
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
you ain't getting that here.
Oh no, I was like just shocked on the price and the food difference. It's probably different now because of post COVID and all that stuff.
Okay.
But the price difference on food from other states to here is the same thing. It's just everything's so expensive in California. Yeah, and I'm gonna get those comments. You get what you pay for. You live in California. I'm like, yeah, but all those extra taxes and people in our government that pocketing stuff because you're crossing from Arizona with eggs to our state, so we're gonna tax you more.
Yep, that's crazy.
On top of the egg issue.
I follow a couple of real estate agents from Texas on Facebook, and just to look at the houses that they have out there, like they have humongous houses.
Oh yeah.
I'm talking about 6, 7 bedrooms, 2 stories, huge foyer, nice backyard, $600,000. I'm not gonna get that in Temecula.
Mm.
I don't even think you can get that here in San Diego County or North County. That's so cheap. Like I want that. Like I want to be able to have a house that I can fit all 27 of my family members in.
And that's expensive. $600,000. That's expensive.
Yeah, that's
like a huge mansion.
It was a huge, ginormous, humongous. It was just. I'll tell my wife, like, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no.
I have a lot of family members that left California, and they're loving it. They're loving it. Just
in
like,
Texas?
Yeah, just the freedom, the stress level is way different because now you can afford things.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that they're rich and everything, but now you can like, hey, I have rent money for the next 3 to 6 months. Like it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to go out to eat. Oh, you need some shoes, you know, to the kids. Oh, it's okay, no worries. Then they're going for, they're not, you know how it is in California. It's like, no, not that brand. No. Go over here to the clearance section.
They're going for the Jordans now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But
so anyway,
we'll see
guys,
what
just
happens.
be patient, man. It's working through for
Mm-hmm.
sure. It's working through. It's gonna take time. So anyway, that's us here in the county, in the Loop North County. I'm Rick. I'm here with Vic. We'll talk to you guys later.
Thank you.